if you didn't watch the first game, you should.
Yeah.
Either now or later, save it. It has to happen. It was a crazy match. My name is Xroyo, of course, joined by Crema. But honestly, it just builds us up. The previous match just builds us up to how the rest of the series will commence, right? Finest don't quite win their own map pick. Excel are able to do that. And now walking into their own home ground on Breeze, what are we expecting, Crema?
Honestly, if you did miss that last map, you can head over to the ValLeague_NE Twitter. I guarantee you about half of the rounds there are going to be on there from all the clips we saw. Genuinely, every single player had a performance. Every single one had a highlight in that game. And that was in the first map, Pavlos. We might have 2 more to go. We moved to Breeze XL's map pick. They were able to take our opening map of Haven, I believe 13-8. And so that really is going to send, I want to say, a few chills up the spines of Finest, because last time we saw XL on Haven, they won 13-2 against the ex-London United roster.
Yeah, we're talking about 2 different caliber of teams, I reckon, at this point, even though they look different to how they looked last season. It's still not like tournament competing. Like tournament title competing. I wouldn't even say playoff competing. They have to prove me otherwise if they improve that much. But yeah, you're right. Excel looks strong on the map nonetheless. We're talking about a different dynamic, of course, to what they've been playing out on Haven. And I think what Finest need to look at right now is able to hit that road running. Because they lost momentum quickly once they won the defensive side. And once Excel were able to control that tempo, they weren't quite able to gain a grasp of it again. No, so if they don't lose it, they can't fear of they can't fear the possibility of them not actually gaining it back.
You're absolutely right. And when it comes to momentum, I really want to talk about Destructive. He was the big game changer for Finest. Once Destructive was feeling it, once he was able to get that little 1 versus 4, Finest went on a huge win spree off the back of that. And it shows just how important momentum can be. Destructive now going over to that Viper. I'm really interested in the KO over on Patatech, moving from Breach to KO. A similar sort of arsenal when it comes to being able to use those flashes. However, I think in terms of utility, I do prefer the Sky here on Breeze at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I really love the iteration where Kriagon was on the Breach. Obviously, now Patatech having to move into that role. It suits him. I want to see how KO works out. I'm not too big of a fan of him on Breeze, though, man. Because obviously that radius that you have with your dagger, it's not really catching out a lot of space.
It actually doesn't encompass sights, does it? It will do part of the sight.
Exactly. So well placed. It can have impact, especially when you're dealing with with Chambers and Jets who no longer have the ability to get to like counteract the punishment. Like you see in a Machina, will try and get those greedy angles and trying to take those trades and get out of there as quickly as possible. The dagger has the capability of denying that prospect. So that's where I see Patatech coming alive, and that's what I want to see punished.
No, you're absolutely right. And as we go into this first round, XL starting on their attack, and in a bit of a default, looking for some early damage, Foxy is going to spot the huge push down corridor. He'll get the hell out of dodge, and that may just invigorate XL to go and assault this B site and try and challenge Machina on that chamber.
They're pretty hot on the heels, though, right? Look at the push that's commencing on the other way, but still going to be quite late endeavor for them. Machina finding the first head and realizing there's another cross to come forward. Chihuahua looking to trade towards mid. Alive also winning favorably. YACINE barely surviving throughout that onslaught, but Machina also holds strong to his position, and now Excel, no longer having gained access to his site, have to reroute their efforts. Thankfully for them, Finest have got 2 players that are crucially low. Yeah,
you're absolutely right. YACINE and Machina are just a bullet away from death here. It all comes down to timing, it all comes down to positioning. With this flank through mid, there's a world here where YACINE is actually able to cancel the plant.
I love this, though. The fact that YACINE has got that main control means that they can act as a pincer when the rest of his team moves in. So YACINE just peeks out, sees where the spike is planted, gives the call, so the rest of his teammates can move out accordingly. YACINE is not going to take a fight for the next 10 seconds.
Yep.
And waits for his team.
Well, it's like a fight at all. Actually, just join the rest of the team pushing through mid here. Destructive, the high HP player, is going to lead this charge.
Oh, Machina finds the first one, though. Foxy finds Machina. And instead of YACINE playing the main position, goes up from heaven and finds Chihuahua. Now Rafter's available, open up the door, and now Foxy has no clue where the push is going to come through. Dash onto the side, perfectly done! Distraction from YACINE, and it's destruction from Destructive. And Finest get the first blood.
Really, really strong stuff, and I want to highlight, you don't move quicker when you're shifting with your knife out. And I think it's twice now, we saw it once on Haven, where a player has died because they were juggling their knife rather than actually fighting. Makina particularly actually shouldn't be alive. The fact they were able to take 2 1v1s on that B site with the second player knowing where he is and still being able to survive is really, really something. And for Finest, I mean, as a pistol round, there's your momentum, and now we see the force buy from XL, and for a moment I thought we were going to see 4 Marshals. Don't get me wrong, 3 Marshals is pretty ridiculous, so get ready for some ranged duels, boys.
A lot of Marshals, you're right. On the defensive side, Finest have got a Guardian. Yeah, it's no surprise they're not really taking these mid-duels, sort of to expected. It's the second round running we're seeing some sort of an investment, but it's not a full investment for XL. Thankfully for them, they got the plant, they got quite a lot of kills, therefore they can afford it. Machine's got the right idea though. Headhunter. Low though. This is the Ghost instead. Replenishment coming in from his teammate will keep him back on track to stay in this game. Now, Toxic Screen will be utilized towards this A site. Could be a distraction, but also could allow the team to start moving in from double doors. Destructive doesn't quite have the read, giving the call over to his team that they are approaching. His team with a crossfire though allows Destructive to move out. Perfectly coordinated. And now wary of the bottom angle, Chihuahua still causing damage. Destructive though comes out and still delivers. Foxy with Paddy Tech now. Not quite hand in hand, quite separated. Foxy, good for 1, but has to lose his teammate. Only with a Marshal up against 3. You can't really have too many high hopes. Spike underneath him, but Destructive comes away with 3, a 2-0 for Finest.
Really, really strong stuff from Finest. I mean, they're trading beautifully. All it comes down to now is going in these bait and switches. We saw that from YACINE and Destructive. Both of them were able to take the first fight, hide, allow your teammates to swing out, get the kill, and it's textbook stuff. And for XL, the force buy in the second round has not worked out. It means that Finest are going to get a huge cash injection now as they play bonus against the Nico. XL, maybe from the earlier stages of this map, as Finest are going to look to establish quite a strong lead.
XL at least have got better weaponry to work with now. No real ultimate advantage has been gained from Finest, which is what you're looking to do in the first few rounds. Chihuahua though, long distance shot onto Machina, nothing unorthodox, spread out across. This is causing movement from Finest. Preemptive is also, look at the push it's causing towards mid, elbow as well. This could be a pincer maneuver onto Mo. Oh dear, no! Not quite checking the angle to the fullest extent, so Destructive having to trade that. Still at a disadvantage. XL with multiple pieces of map control have left Finest in the middle, unknowing on where to go next. An all-important kill puts Destructive on top now. Chihuahua was isolated, but doesn't even matter, because he's able to farm 1, and all of a sudden Finest realize, okay, it's not planted in B, it's all the way towards the A site.
Oh, look at this catch on the sky. Spotted out by that camera of Chihuahua. Now the rotation comes to outflank Bonka here. If he survives that long.
Last player standing.
Yeah, he's realized Paddy Tech is to the side. Chihuahua also coming in. That's a dink, that's a second, but Paddy Tech is right behind him. And will deliver the coup de grace. XL find their way on the board.
Absolutely right. XL now with their first Finest move into their next investment. Destructive already has that Viper's Pit readily available, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see it used early on. As XL, no ults just yet, but Foxy, one away from being able to bring out their own Viper's Pit. It wouldn't surprise me if we see XL just fight for a bit of orb control, and then use that Viper's Pit the second it comes online in and after plan.
Viper's Pit initialized towards the A site now. Preemptive maneuver. But that just allows XL to move in towards the B site, and not unless Machina has something to say about it. Gets 1, gets out of there still. It's damaged up heavily. Bonka spotting out movement. Also himself in a difficult position, pre-firing through the box and goes for the swing. Ooh. Important kill. XL now. Off of a 2 numbers deficit. Chihuahua though. The sneaky beaky movement. Bonka! The 180 turn. It's given his team the win. No way. YACINE joins the fray. Mo. All that remains. And Kicks puts him out of his misery. Finest don't drop a player and get themselves a dub.
5-1. XL, around which they really had quite a strong standing in, turned on its head with that with that 180 from Bonka here. Look at this flanking mid. It just did not work. But Mac it up. Nice bit of damage, and for Bonka, that round is all Bonka. Look at this here.
Look at this, look at this, look at this.
180, that just ruins him.
I think he just turned 90 degrees, and then he saw him at the edge of his screen and just flicked towards it. Ah, it was incredible. All right, we see you, Bonka. Chihuahua definitely wasn't waiting for that. But let's look at Excel as they look to rush towards the B site this time around. Machina ends up dropping. Paddy Tech quickly taking charge of that. They've only got 2 rifles to work with, now 3, which has put them back into the game. With a Viper's Pit, this could be Excel's round.
Finest going to try and zone out as much of that pit as possible before YACINE dives in.
Oh, Chihuahua's going to make it more difficult, though. YACINE's wrap, patient, but alive, holding strong. Kicks, also chiming in. YACINE not quite there to trade it. That's the Viper. No more Viper Spit, but he's up against 3. And they both know of his position. Excel, with a thrifty round, with only investment in 2 rifles, are able to scramble up the victory.
Really, really strong stuff, and it really comes off the back of that Viper's Pit from Foxy. What I really like as well is the trust in Alive there to adapt to how Machina is playing that B site. The second Foxy gets that smoke down, dives to site pre-aiming the upper angles, knowing that Machina likes to play with some higher elevation, is able to catch out the chamber, goes to the quick plant, Viper's Pit goes down, and then from then on out it's a matter of trading for Excel. Full bite versus full bite, however, YACINE does have that op, something which Excel aren't quite able to boast yet, as demonstrated.
Oh, movement still. Kick sticks around. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Once more. Ooh. Just takes a bite. A little bit too big. You lose. And ends up hurting him in the end. Excel still on the back foot as Machina still holds on to the site. Repositions, not quite good enough. Foxy pre-fires it, but YACINE's got a good angle here. Flash drive. Oh! I think that connected. Padatic is low. I think that was a leg shot. Look at Foxy close by. Anticipating YACINE to push through quite quickly. But no. We're waiting for Destructive to approach now from the main entry. Snakebite to delay. Now he's given the call that Foxy's playing around McDonald's. And Padatic, they've got no clue where he is. In the Viper Spit, YACINE goes, what a shot by Foxy! And knowing exactly where YACINE is going to come from, it's a simple endeavor for them from that. Foxy with a Quadra puts Excel back on the radar.
If you're Finest, the last thing you want is to be going blow for Excel. Because Finest, they showed us last map that their absolute best side, at least over on Haven, is their attack by quite a distance, and I worry that it could be a repeat here on Breeze, where they don't pick Breeze, so they're always on their defense. They end up with a really strong defense, but their attack ends up quite lacking. On Haven, it was vice versa. Of course, it's their map pick. For Excel, now against Sheriffs, are going to look to take the lead here.
This is Excel just completely flipping the script.
Take flight.
They've been handed the first draft. They said, no, we don't like this. We're looking to turn it around quite quickly. Switcheroo it. Flippy flop it.
Bonka swings out. Can't quite catch out the old player here.
No. Cannot.
Chihuahua.
It's perfect, isn't it? There's nothing you can do, and it just feels a little bit worse for them, considering they've only got a pistol to work with. They couldn't go in aggressively, they couldn't go in explosively. It's all coming into a rapid end, and Kicks, wherever he goes, he's just literally walking into his demise. Unless he can find a wonderful watermelon kill here with a Sheriff, that's all he'll be getting. Flashing out. Weapon far out of reach. Chihuahua also approaching, desperate to find a kill in this endeavor. Excel, after being down by quite a margin, now are on top, 4-3.
For now, Excel find themselves at 4-3. Finest, they move to their next investment. Machina brings out that op, looking to challenge Alive. I'm surprised Machina's wielding the op instead of YACINE. Bearing in mind that in the last duel, YACINE was actually able to beat Alive. However, This may come down to ult management as well, with Excel boasting 4 ults readily available, Foxy one away from another's Viper's Pit. Over onto Finest, you've got Hunter's Fury and Seekers. That's it. And unfortunately, Hunter's Fury is the only real round sculpting ult out of the team.
Ooh, YACINE may have got an opportunity here. Doesn't have the ability to dash out. Hunter's Fury used. Does Mo know of this? No, aiming towards the site instead. Alive walks through in front of the crossfires of YACINE. Foxy also chimes in, but the damage has been done. Excel find their way into the site. They scramble their way into it. YACINE is just being a thorn right now, but that's all he is. Still getting one though and keeping things square. Chihuahua, with his efforts though, will keep his team in front. Spotting out YACINE with a spike in front of him, but it means that he will be all by himself. Destructive ends up falling. The only thing he has control over is this spike. Can he defend it? Poison Cloud enabled. That's one. Down low though, the call has been given. 7 bullets and a dream out of the Poison Cloud. Just in time! Ooh. Dashes in, but Foxy is there. A near ace for YACINE, but it just isn't. And Excel take command.
Really, really strong stuff. And I mean, for a moment, yes, it looks like a 1v5 is possible. However, Excel, they just play the numbers game, works out beautifully for them, and once again, Finest find their economy completely reset. I like how we're seeing a timeout now. Really trying to break the pace here, and for Finest, this is where things get a little bit, not worrisome yet. You know, it was only 2 rounds. However, Excel are in a prime position now to really extend this lead, and for Finest, they need to put a wrap on it as quick as humanly possible.
Timeout from Finest. The pressure is mounting. I expected that timeout to come out on that previous map a long time ago. Ever since Excel was able to wrap up that 3rd round in a row. That bonus round. But they didn't. And they let Excel take that momentum. Just steamroll their way into victory. But now they do. Maybe to learn from their mistakes, but it could be too late, right? No weapons to work with. Excel, map advantage. Still got a few toys to work with.
Something I really like Heat's doing on Haven, on Breeze, and I think they also on Icebox, is they pick an area of the map, they push, and they take it. For Finest, they're not really doing that. Instead, they're going for like little probes of information, then backing off. Actually, this round we are seeing the push from the sky. But I want to see it happen a bit more consistently, Pathless.
Thing is that the sky is unassisted. Only YACINE at the far end. Oh, that's ugly. The pressure is getting to them, man. You can feel it. You can sense it. Slobby mistakes here. Bonka caught off as well. From bad to worse. This isn't a round you really expected Finest to get anything out of it. Let's be fair. But it's in the manner that they're losing it that actually hurts, right? It's the fact that you do go for those single ventures out into the site, out into the open, having no trade potential. It's just a little bit hurtful to see. But it seems that the Endeavor will ensue towards the B side. There is Destructive holding out. Buying time for his team to arrive. Desperation play coming in for YACINE to move out into the toxic screen. That's the kill coming into Destructive, but that's all it is. Because YACINE has fallen, Destructive has fallen, and their whole fate, their sole fate, lies into the arms of Machina, who's just walking into death right now.
Machina falls, Excel, they go 6-0 up. Pavlos, this is now turning into a, dare I say it, an Excel, almost an Excel Jubilee. You just get to watch them kill people. As Finest, they do have the Blaze available, they also have a Hunter's Fury available, and with every gun they could wish for, I'm now really interested to see if they are going to continue the aggression they were showing with pistols, because it works. It does work if you can execute it properly. However, Excel seem to have done a great job at mitigating any success from Finest. Destructive is one away from being able to bring out that Viper's Pit, and that may very much help in either, well, with a hit to B, it may help next round, but very well help in delaying.
Oh, through the smoke. Machine takes a lot of damage. Destructive ends up falling. And now they're seeing side control. Kicks, crucially enough, finding a kill towards mid. And finding the advantage for his team. But with that Viper Spit dropping, that's going to make the endeavor a lot more difficult. Machine just a second earlier. And that would have been a kill. And now they can walk in. Viper Spit, YACINE, knowing they're going to the back end of this. The information's been given over. Eli's position known. Oh, it's Gruffy though. It's Scrappy. YACINE dashes away from it. The Viper Spit drops. The Finest are dropping as well. They don't have any players to work with anymore. And Mo's got a perfect lineup onto the far end with an operator. Kicks desperately needs his kill, but Foxy's not giving it to him. It's a scrambled up victory for Kicks here on that one trade, but he even flashes himself. The frustration, lacking the time to take this fight. Tagged up by Mo. The only thing is just try and save onto his weapon. Guiding Light comes in too late, gets the kill, and barely stays alive, but the round still is there for Excel.
Really, really strong stuff from Excel there, and I love how in the afterplant, Foxy just doesn't show an inch. Just mushes his face against the wall, and just allows that time to keep on ticking, just setting up his teammates for what is a very easy clutch. I want to highlight Alive here as well. How does he survive for as long as he did? He had no business being able to get that second kill. Oh no, even that third kill as well. And sure, Kix is able to retrieve the op. They're able to wipe Excel, but in order to succeed the 7th round to Excel, it doesn't seem worth it.
It really doesn't. Excel even upping up the pressure here. Machine are crucially getting one, but straight it back up again. They're barely throwing any weapons into this. Bonker and I think YACINE only having sheriffs. Obviously, there's a Blade Storm in play. But Kix is the one with the operator now. Machine, though, catching out the mistakes from Excel. It seems they've separated a bit. And they're being cornered out. Bayside. Trailblazer revealing the positioning of Kix. Fragment to be shown to the right side, Snakebite to the left. That's going to cause them to move out into the open. Alive though with a chance! Destructive though takes charge of it, and now the rotation comes through, moving in towards the B side. They don't expect it, there's no way. But Destructive now second guesses his push and falls back to the safety of his Viper's pit. Foxy aggressing up towards mid. Next contestant is going to be YACINE with a Sheriff. Takes him down 40 seconds. This is doable. This is doable. Very isolated, the players.
It's a very... I really like the fact that they take the tempo, they stack up, and they just try and fight a player. They're going to try and do the same thing now, potentially on mid tier, if Machina can't outflank them.
Oh, but he did. He did just that. Machina, low in health. What he's done what was required by the time for the rest of them to regroup. Oh, Paddy Tech. An explosive kill there, but it's just not good enough. Finest close out that margin and get themselves a 4th on the board.
So before the scoreline, we enter the final round of the half, and for Finest, this is going to dictate how badly they need this pistol round, because if they lose it, they desperately need it. If they win it, then they can afford 1 or 2 more round losses before things get really hairy. For Excel, I mean, they've been pretty dominant for this half. They don't need to worry about cash. Over on Finest, a little bit more so. That up comes out this time on YACINE. I wonder how they extrapolate which player should use it. Machina in this case, of course, gives it over because he has the tour de force. Accompanied by Seekers, these ops could get very, very scary very quickly.
All Guiding Light coming through. Kicks getting the better of it. They're looking to seize control of this tempo. Taking aggressive fights. That's what you like to see. That's when Finest excel the most. Now, on the back foot, not many pieces of the puzzle required, well, left for them to use. It's all Mo. Let's see if he can paint a picture of victory. Up against 5. Yeah, that's not happening, is it? I've said that before, though, haven't I? I've said that before, and Destructive was able to win.
That's very true.
So, yeah, well, Destructive was just waiting there. Speak of the devil. Well, 5-7. Where have I seen that score before?
I wonder. Getting everything sense. I think I'm correct all day.
Was it? It was definitely from the one before, but I don't know.
Matsuki, maybe not, but still, 7-5 appears to be the norm here. And for Excel, they move to their defense. Arguably the harder side of Breeze. I think it's fairly evenly split though. And for Excel, I really want to see how these, particularly how Foxy's able to do with this Viper, because a lot of the anchoring now has to be done either by Chihuahua or Foxy, and both players have had pretty strong series thus far. What does it mean for Finest who are going to try and overwhelm them?
That's a good spot.
Oh, look at Machina. Damaged up. Still, Excel not trading as favorably as they would have liked. Scratch that thought. Mo brings him back. Alive with an off angle. Dashes in. But YACINE says he's got a dash of his own. Won't be able to survive too long with that cloud burst. A little bit misplaced. And that is Excel with an all-important pistol. One which could put them in the right trajectory to close out this game.
You're absolutely right. And for Excel, now this is where they try and keep it running. An extremely fast pistol round. They go for the early push. They fight for the momentum. They're rewarded for fighting for the momentum. And now for Finest on the back foot with a couple of pistols to try and fend off, to ward off the marauding spirits of Excel. We'll see if they can do just that. Unfortunately, I don't detect any clairvoyance here.
Toxic screen towards the B site. That's a clear indication of their intention. Snakebite coming a little bit too late. YACINE still within the cloud burst, not able to do too much. Excel, they're looking strong, they're looking clean. Destructive, unable to find his footing, unable to find his shots. That is Excel just taking charge of this game, taking charge of this round. They never seemed to struggle one bit.
You're absolutely right. And for Finest now with their full buy coming up, rifles on every single player. I want to highlight the fact that right now, Alive isn't having a particularly good game, sort of middle of the pack. YACINE, on the other, is doing amazingly. Unfortunately, the makeup for Alive is the fact that Foxy and Chihuahua are really pulling their weight, and more so. Over on Finest, YACINE's doing very well, but there's no real follow-up. And that's the true difference we're seeing here, as Finest go for some mid-control now against Excel, who are hoping to catch out an odd player.
Ooh. Oh, YACINE taken out of the equation very quickly. Machine as well. I'm sensing there are quite a lot of mistakes happening right now. I was questioning the viability of Cypher still, and it seems I am mistaken to do so. But Kicks miraculously helps his team survive, getting 2 kills and squaring things up. But Chihuahua in mid, though, is having none of it. He's got heaven control. He's got he's got clearance on the y-axis, but still Destructive catching out alive. And it's all down to Foxy Fox.
Foxy could very well catch Bonkar by surprise here. This is such a fast flank.
He needs to start walking, though. Otherwise, he'll hear him. That's 2 headshots! And that's Bonker down, Snakebite. And now repositions. Oh, goes towards mid. He's so quick to react to this. Does Destructive expect it to be so fast? No way, right? Surely now he must think it could be it.
He's not going through mid. He's going to CT. I love this.
No way!
We've got Foxy, who's got the map awareness of Christopher Columbus.
No way he expected to come from spawn, right? Oh yeah, now he is.
Oh, he may do.
Now he's realised enough time has passed for that to happen. But Fox, it's all down to timing. That's ahead. They both spot each other. It's a Viper v Viper. And Foxy gets a little bit closer into the water. Both touching each other. Spike touched once more. Snakebite thrown at his feet. Ooh. But the jiggle peeking from Destructive gets the winning blow. And that is Team Finest finally getting a win this half.
They do so on their attack now. It was their second half, it's like second half blues they get, and now the 3 rounds in, they've already struck back with their first. Yes, it was against the bonus of Excel, but it was enough to, it's convincing enough to win a 1v1. You don't have to commit any ults to it. It's a bit of a confidence boost for Finest, something that they were in dire need of. Over on Excel, they moved to their full buy. Op comes out onto Alive here. As for Finest, no Op in sight. However, they do have the pride of having one last round to assist them.
Light coming through, looking to move in. Paddy Tech taking charge of it. Alive, can't survive for too long. YACINE in command. And he wants more. Destructive for resistance. Runs out of bullets, but he's got his teammates back. And there's now 2 left for Excel. Finest have found some tempo and have resurged themselves on top, looking to close out that gap and make their presence on Breeze very much
Standing. Spike planted.
noticeable.
Clean trades. Finest. They make it 7. XL. This is now a bit of a worrisome position for them. Finest have really started to build a bit of momentum. XL don't have cash, and while they have ults to assist them, what good does it do if you don't have the ults to follow it up? I love the fact we're seeing a timeout here. Something that I think they really quite need, as I mean, this round from YACINE, how was he able to do this? To get 2 kills, to fight the third player, pretty much uncontested as well. For XL, that shows a big flaw in defense here, something which Finest were able to exploit. The question now is, how do XL patch up the holes?
It's getting a bit rough here. Excel having to eco, of course. Good timeout for them. Well timed. Seems like Finest aren't letting pressure get to them. And I think we kind of saw that from Tundra last season, right? Where they were a bit coin flippy, right? Sometimes they just had momentum and took over games very quickly and very determined, in a very determined fashion. And sometimes they just couldn't gain a grasp of the games, and they lost the matches when it was most required of them. Their arc during the first season of Polaris seemed to be an uphill trajectory until they reached playoffs.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And for Finest now, as they move into this chance to keep it close, as we do end up in the run-up to playoffs now, every round we see from XL now is a bit of a heartbreak for them, because every round we see is a round which could be anti-stratted. And if you are XL, you're the guys to beat. You're the guys everyone's going to try and topple. The more real there is on you, the worse off you are. Batatech peeks out, sees the push coming. Can't do much to stop it, though, other than tank down destruction.
I really like the point you mentioned, right? Because last season, I don't think anyone in playoffs predicted that Excel would have won the entire thing. Anyone. People predicted Tundra, people predicted Alliance, people predicted Tenstar. No one predicted Excel, and they were the ones to win it. Well, this time around, they've proven everybody wrong, and everybody's looking at them. And in this particular round, we'll be seeing Finest quickly close up that gap with superior weaponry. They're not really having too much trouble with it. Bonker and YACINE taking damage, and Foxy will definitely have to fall soon after. He's been spotted. Bullet to the head, blinded. Yeah, not fun. Not fun at all. Kicks is even coming in. It's a game of whack-a-mole, but the moles can shoot back.
That doesn't sound like any fun for the person whacking them. As
No.
Finest by themselves with 8, and XL, that hard-earned kind of first half dash, which was able to give them that lead, is now slowly but surely being mitigated. And as they move their full bite, something to highlight is the ult management. They have that Viper Spit on Foxy, they have that Neural Theft on Chihuahua. I believe they have a fair few ults as well to use. I don't want to see them dump all of them, particularly when Batatech's 1 away from no command, Mo and Alive 2 away from theirs. Over on Finest, you have everything apart from that Tour de Force and Hunter's Fury. And what looks like a fairly early push over to B from Finest.
That's a good spot.
Aldrone spotting out Machina, pre-firing in case of a push commencing, and gets the hell out of there. Will save his life. Just splashed down to 95 points of health and 39 points on his shield. Econ onto the back end. Machina looking to persist, as Excel have taken so much ground in mid, but it's for an exchange to the rest of the ends, right? If YACINE doesn't spot this, this could be it for them. Peeking through, YACINE has now realized this, but it depends on how Finest react to this. Wrapping around him in mid. Who's defending? Who's attacking? I'm confused. It's Machina now catching 2, but Alive still catches him out instead. We're talking about a 3-on-4 in favor of Finest right now. Moving on to the B site with a spike in command. They will be able to get it down, and the advantage in numbers is such an important prospect for them.
This drop getting ready to come through from Bonka. Does he get red?
Chihuahua though, I think you can smell Kicks is nearby. Does he check the left side corner? He has to. Oh, it's a matter of timing, and Chihuahua gets the better of it. The Viper's Pit still persists, though. Destructive is the only person remaining, and that is Cypher just showing where Destructive is. Hides in within his own poison cloud. Chihuahua switching the position. No way. Touching the spike. Destructive having to throw down a snake bite. Finding a kill through it, and that could be it. Time bought. Foxy cannot defuse in time. Finest lose every single player, but they're able to get the win nonetheless.
Solid stuff there from Destructive. That single snake bite just is the difference between a win or a loss there. They're able to get it down. They're able to equalize for Finest now. And this is where XL really need to start worrying. That lead you had, what lead? This may be your map pick, but Finest don't care. Machina, look at that little 180 flick. He should not be winning those aim duels. But Finest, they continue to prove time and time again that they're here to win. And for XL now, this is where something desperately needs to change. A full buy comes out, Alive able to bring out the Blade Storm Pasek with the Null command. Foxy with an Afterplant could very well deploy that Viper's Pit, but for Finest, you have that Tour de Force, something that's just been brought out to try and stop XL from even attempting an Afterplant.
We want to see another Machinist show, don't we?
I'd love to see another Machinist show.
Seems like Finest may be able to facilitate that for us, but first they want to take the B site. Oh, Chihuahua caught off Alive. XL are dropping players left and right, and no trades are going their way. And this is getting from bad to worse from them, and Finest have an opportunity to seize the lead, seize control, and get to double digits. XL have made the call. Back away, save these rifles, because this round is one which we cannot contest.
I would like to see Mo go and hunt. Just maybe upgrade the Bulldog. But regardless, Finest, a solid round, and now the lead established for them at 10-9. Pavlos, I said this would be a long series. It looks, unless something changes for XL and something changes quickly, looks like we could be very well going to a third map. We could be going to Icebox.
We really could. But it's not over till it's over. I mean, Machina can definitely go for this. He's not going to have his weapon by the end of it either way. So, really nothing to lose. Bulldog lost. Foxy with a triple, building up to that Viper's Pit. XL not out of it just yet, and players able to drop means that everybody will have a buy. Although, with half shields.
Something I want to highlight is that right now, Foxy's having an incredible series. Really strong stuff for all of them. And something I want to highlight is that while Foxy is doing so damn well, he's being consistent. It's now down to Mo, it's down to Patatech, it's down to Alive to really step up. Because right now, YACINE's running circles around Alive, and we need to see that change pretty quickly.
Well, the preemptive Viper's Pit does fall towards the B site. Finest looking to move up into tunnel. Machina spotted, and that is Chihuahua taking charge of it. Finally, for the first time in a while, it is XL with a numbers advantage. It seems they've been able to retain that so far. Destructive on a walk. No help in sight. Therefore, the real power in that position is just holding that angle. Controlling that space. Going for a fight is not on the cards from Hunter's Fury onto the side, though, and that is Bonka finding himself the equalizer. Patatech using the ult to maybe be replenished, but no, Alive ends up falling as well, and there's no one to save the KO. YACINE once again with the operator. He's feeling alive, and he might be able to find another. The timing doesn't just quite work out for him. Patatech's ult does run out. YACINE finds another. It's a triple completed for him. And Foxy is just too far away from the action. Make it a quadra for YACINE. Finest look in command to close out this map.
They look indestructible, and YACINE has really woken up. Now they've got that operator. They have been unstoppable. And for XL, I mean, sure, they got the opening. Battles, they got the opening. But I want to talk about the grand strategy from Finest there. They down the KO and then bait the KO's corpse for anyone trying to heal. And for YACINE, it's masterful. And look at this. Mo pushes out, looking to potentially resurrect Patatech. But no, YACINE's there, even able to get the 4K. Solid stuff now. And for Finest, this is where this momentum starts gathering. I mean, it started as a snowball, but we're now at an avalanche.
Here.
Okay.
I like the change in pace now for Finest. They've gone so quiet. And XL, they can't risk pushing. They can't risk. They don't know where. Surprisingly, YACINE has a Vandal here instead of an Op, and I think that is actually just because they've anticipated a fairly poor buy from XL, so they're looking to just capitalize on it now as they slowly make a foray through mid, just trying to garner a bit of control before they head through Con and try and assault the safe side.
Oh, very good shot from Pilotech, though. That will keep XL in. The last time around, they gained the advantage. They lost it quite quickly after that. Destructive will be able to find the same case scenario as the last. Free kill to be handed over. And now XL are acting in the dark.
30 seconds
Suffocated
left.
from information. They have no clue to the whereabouts of Finest right now. A scout drone on its way. Foxy will get spotted. Snakebite to delay, but has to deal with a push from mid. Chihuahua, though, is there to stop it. Now can upgrade that Spectre to a Vandal. Foxy needs to take care of his close position. Kicks and Bonker, find a way back in, but it's still a 2-on-2. Poison Cloud to give him space. Spike perhaps to go down. Pre-fight position, but no time to plant! No time to plant! And that will give XL the victory. Double digits for XL, and do not allow Finest to get themselves some map points.
It ain't pretty, Pavlos. It certainly ain't pretty, but it works. Kind of like our casting, actually. But anyway, XL, they're able to snatch around, and having seen that last kind of 6 rounds on the bounce spree from Finest, it's about time they put a halt to it. But was that a death rattle, or were those the dull war drums of a comeback? These are sound cancelling headphones. They need to be very loud, and unfortunately, those drums ain't loud yet. Finest looking to shut them down now with only a Marshal on alive.
This is crazy. Thankfully for Finest, they've got plenty full of money. Even if they lose this round, they can keep it going. But it's not the same case scenario for XL. Alive, as you said, with just a mere Marshal, has to do the heavy lifting, and with a classic close spy, can't do anything. It all comes down to the rest. Chihuahua, Foxy, and Mo. What can you do here? Our drone showing where Destructive is. Can they find the pre-fire in time? Chihuahua and Moxie find the kills, though. How does that even happen? But Machina, though, finds a good angle to work with, and he's blocked them out. Foxy on a 1 versus 3. Draws it down to 1-on-2, and still have 61 points to health to spare. Recon Bolt doesn't even consider breaking it. Repositions. They know where he is. Snakebite looking to uncover one of these positions, but Bonker's going to go all the way around. So smart. Foxy, there's no way he can do this. Not even going to touch it. Touches it, but Machina swings by. It's a wide swing as well, which finds the headshot for him and puts Finest 1 round away from closing out XL's map pick to equalize the score and take us to a decider.
I won't lie to you, Pavlos. I do not like this push from Patatech. There was no supporting utility there whatsoever. That was just Patatech pushing. And doing so without a teammate, doing so when your teammate only has a Marshal, I don't like it. And Finest, to be incredible credit to you, they punish it instantly. That means XL now have to drop down to the best buy they could possibly muster, comprising of Vandals, Guardians, Spectres, and Sheriffs. Fortunately for XL, while it may be a fairly diverse buy, this second half is looking fairly uniform in who's winning it.
Wow. That even happens as well. Destructive taking Foxy's life. Troubling situation now for the XL side, unless Chihuahua can do anything about it. Can the Rottweiler inside of the Chihuahua start to snap? No? Quickly put down. Alive with a Guardian, maybe to keep things close. But they can't stabilize just yet. Flashlight coming through. Destructive completely flashed, but still able to pull shots. Still able to find kills. Alive out into the open. Finest will equalize. Finest will be able to trade maps with XL. And ladies and gents, we're heading to Icebox. From a sunny avenue to the exact opposite, we're going to the chilly map of Icebox. What a crazy map.
For a while there, Finest looked like they were down and out. However, that took some serious pertinacity to be able to just keep mashing yourselves against XL until you find something, a flaw, some form of weakness, and once they find that weakness, do not let up, as they are able, while it's a close map, it's one that they're able to quite proudly say they are most victorious.
They are indeed. And man, this wasn't an easy one. Excel had the lead 7-5, and we saw history repeats itself with Finest this time around having the better end of that stick, right? Early aggression coming from them, obviously the pistol rounds working out very nicely, but Excel's resurgence looks strong on the attack. But ever since Finest were in control of the tempo, they didn't let go and didn't allow Excel any chance of getting their way back in. Yes, it got close. Yes, it got dicey. Yes, there were clutch-worthy positions, but time and time again, Finest got themselves that numbers advantage and were able to cross it across the finishing line.
You're absolutely right, and for Finest, I mean, this is now some serious momentum to move to Icebox. I'm going to put you on the spot a bit here, Pavlos. Are you going to stick to your prediction of Finest on Icebox, or do you think Excel are going to take it?
I've got to. There's got to be a believer for Finest. They've got to. Because everybody right now is looking at Excel, aren't they?
I will admit Excel definitely showed some flaws there, and I'm quite impressed with Finest to be able to punish it so quickly. However, I don't know if that was one flaw they were able to exploit. Is it something they'll be able to do over on Icebox? As for me, I feel like Excel, when they are down, they do get a little bit desperate. They do start throwing out Hail Marys. For instance, that push with Pazatech towards the very end of that, map. And I mean, Finest, they punish it beautifully. But can they do the same on Icebox? Will the same playstyle work on Icebox?
It's hard to tell at this point, right? Two different distinct maps, even though they are very big in regards of having long rotation times. They are quite different in nature. You've got verticalities in play and on Icebox that really are not the same in Freeze. I mean, if you consider the choke points that are available on both sides, it's just not the same. So, yeah, no, it's going to be a different dynamic for sure. And considering that both of these teams are now one-on-one and score, it's all to fight for. I think you can already say they're probably even fighting for #1 spot in the season already. And it being the second match they're playing, it's quite a tall order for them to perform right out of the bat. So a lot of pressure on them.
No, you're absolutely right. Something else I want to highlight is the difference between YACINE and Alive. Alive really, really struggled to match his opposing Jet that game. And YACINE just ran circles around the entirety of Excel. The second he had that op, he was unstoppable. And for Excel now, as we move to Icebox, I think one of their objectives would be keep YACINE off an op for as long as humanly possible.
And I think also something that we highlighted in a win condition for Excel to do well in this map is having Paddy Tech, throwing, you know, his daggers wherever, for example, Alive or Machina is, and trying to sort of punish that. We didn't see too much of that, really. So, yeah, I guess we would have preferred maybe a different initiator. But also, I think Chamber's too strong to give up on him, right? I think he's just too strong right now in the meta to give away from him. By all means, Cypher is very much viable, but I think what Chamber can give in terms of information, in terms of kill potential without punishment, is just too strong. But of course, Icebox is where everything will be decided. And if you guys want to enter that freezer with us together, we'd be happy you joined us. See you soon, right after the break.
Hello, Bonker here, in-game leader for Team Finest.
Hi, my name is YACINE. I'm a duelist for Team Finest.
What will change for Split 2? I mean, we're a brand new team, and I would honestly say that a lot of things is going to change for this split because of the meta shift. Chamber is in the game, Jet is getting nerfed, etc. So it's going to be a lot of new, different things.
Obviously, we have a whole new team now. We also have a new meta coming in. I think that will favor us a lot. We have Kix, who's a great young player with a lot of potential. Kind of reminds me of Leo when we found him back in the days. So definitely excited to see where we're gonna go now.
I'd say our performance from last split was very underwhelming. We had a lot of difficulties within the team that we had to deal with, and I'd say we did the best we could with the cards we were dealt.
Obviously, our performance in Split 1 was not what we had planned. We kind of threw the bag, if you can say that. I was expecting us to reach all the way to Challengers. We did not. Could blame what happened within the team, but I will not. I'm just excited for this one.
Goal for Split 2 for our team is this time we're winning it all. In our new roster coming in, I'd say look out for Machina on the Sentinel role, and also Kix, our young gun. I think he has amazing mechanical skill, also really nice game sense, and he's playing all of these Battle Bridge, Battle KO, Battle Sky playstyle. And also Machina is just a amazing chamber player.
Honestly, we're way more confident going into this split than we were going into the first one. I think the first one we're kind of stressed and, forced a little bit. Building this team has been way different. We've been having a lot of trials, taking our time, picking the right players, and focusing more on team chemistry, I feel like. So I'm honestly way more confident going into this split with these guys than I was before. Don't want to say too much. I'm just excited to see where we go. Wally.
Yeah, Wally. Wally.
No, 100% Wally. I love him to death. He's not toxic with he's not toxic with us. He's toxic in rank, but he's 100% most toxic.
Yeah.
It's probably beating G2 on Ascent, 13-5. It was one of my first big officials. I remember feeling it feeling really good, so it has to be that.
I didn't plant the bomb on Split.
That's a good one.
We were playing Split overtime. It was a brawl, and we did some last second go plant the bomb calls, and time ran out, and I just jumped in bed crying, man. I think that would have changed a lot if we won that game, actually. So
Yeah.
instead, they got the free ride, so it is what it is. That's why we're still trying to get that championship title so we can erase that one,
I think being open-minded is a key part of improving as a player, because this game is ever-changing, right? If you're locked in one way of playing, one way of thinking about the game, then I think you will not come far.
Something very important to going pro is learning to improve, because it's not as simple as just playing ranked and grinding the game. That's you will get far, but you won't get to the top. Like Cider said, it's very important that you learn to talk as a team.
Me, 100%. Back when I used IGL, I forgot it every round. I would always forget either armor, my shotgun, everything, every round.
Intentional throwing. Nah, I mean, it's not intentional throwing. It's more of a check out and doesn't want to play anymore.
Yeah.
We had our old teammate John, he used to have all sorts of issues with his PC, but other than that, we're usually fine.
What a journey has this been so far. We're neck and neck. Excel versus Team Finest, the two top hitters of this season. Goodness gracious, what are we to expect on Icebox Crema? Just give us the gist of it, because I just cannot stand the expectations anymore.
Well, you're absolutely right. This has been a hell of a series. I mean, we thought Excel, after a dominant Haven, were going to be able to take a Breeze. Not the case at all. Finest, and they